Hey, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to Ultimate Affiliate Marketing. I'm your host, it's Paul Motley, and welcome to everybody on the podcast. And of course, those guys on YouTube, if you're watching this on the live on the YouTube as well. So we are continuing. Yes, we are doing this all week. We are talking about Forex. We're talking about trading. We're also talking about how you can gain passive income, which ties in nicely with our goal of getting affiliate income and all that good stuff as well. But today is, and I always say it's a special guest, but today is a really special guest because this guy actually got me into trading in the first place, properly, should I say. He was very persistent. He took me out for a nice beer and we talked Forex, we talked this, we talked the other. And long story short, I'm here today talking to you, but I'm going to welcome David Carne into the show. David, how you doing?
Hi, thank you, Paul. Thank you for welcoming me here today. Yeah, never do business when you're drunk, eh?
That's it. Well, luckily, I think it was only the 2 pints. So yeah, that kind of got me hooked on that one. And I remember the conversation because I think at the time I was obviously working heavily with my affiliate marketing biz, but I had tried Forex before and massively failed at it because I didn't have any of the support. I didn't have the all the indicators and the education that's available to us now. And I remember going to bed one night and waking up the next morning to find there was nothing left in my account. And I thought, oh, this is a huge scam. I can't believe it. This is just ridiculous. Something's gone wrong. Tried to contact the broker and they just said, well, you didn't set a stop loss. And I was like, oh, what's that? So, and for those people that are interested, stop loss is basically where you'll set something on your trade and it'll automatically take you out, right? So you don't end up doing something stupid like I did and losing all my money. So the cool thing was that I think I had very, what should we say, a very classic interpretation of Forex. And I remember as soon as you said that to me, I remember we had a sort of conversation on Facebook and you said that word Forex and my arms just completely folded straight the way the body language was. Don't talk to me about this rubbish, blah, 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 and all that sort of thing. Because do you find that is a common sort of like thing with people when you first start talking to them?
Yeah, indeed. I mean, the most common misconception is people consider it as a form of gambling, which is not really, because you're studying the charts, the highs and lows of the charts, and you're following a pattern or a strategy, as it were, with analysis. So it's not, gambling can cover a whole range of issues, and everybody has heard of somebody with gambling problems and stuff like that. You've got to put a bet on or whatever, and they associate that whole world with the world of Forex, but that's not the case. Forex is actually when you go into a bank and you put your like £1,000 or whatever into your bank account. There's a team of people at your bank actually trading Forex to make your money work for you, basically. And all they do is they give you 1% a year or whatever it is
if you're lucky.
effort.
If you're lucky.
Yeah, if you're lucky. So Forex treated correctly is not in my world, it's not gambling at all. It's a serious study of the charts.
Now I think that again, a common misconception is that Forex is quite small and relatively unknown, but I don't know the exact figures. How big is the Forex market? We're talking trillions or what?
Forex, what they say, I can't remember whether it's a day or a week, but in Forex, $6 trillion.
Wow.
$6 trillion. I don't know how much a trillion is, but it sounds an awful lot. $6 trillion per week or per day is, and to move, well, we haven't got into this yet, but we measure trades in what's called pips. Pips stands for points in percentage. It's just basically a unit that you can use to evaluate the size of your trade, how well or how badly it's done for you. But to move one pip costs over $10 million for any pair to move one pip. So there's a lot of money tied up in it.
That's crazy. So it's actually it's almost like a global underground market going on that most people walking around doing their average day are just completely unaware of, because they don't get it. And the closest they get to it is if they're going away on holiday and they're exchanging money for one currency to the other. Is that fair?
Well, yes, indeed. I mean, as of like 20 years ago, before the internet, we couldn't exist as Forex traders, because it would be just too difficult to get on the phone to your broker or whatever. But all these, because of the internet, brokers, you've got to get yourself a broker to exchange whatever you're trading into your currency, so you can actually trade the thing. But it would have been more or less impossible, like 20 years ago, for the average person like myself to do this, even if you hadn't heard of it.
Yeah. So how did you get started?
Well, I got started. I was a network marketer, so I had a lot of friends on the internet, and one of my friends, network marketing friends, phoned me up one day and said, "There's a group of traders from the Shard in London, and they're doing a small thing online. It's free for you at the moment, just to go and see how you feel about it." And they were doing trading and analyzing charts. And I come from a background where I like analyzing stuff. So I thought, my ears pricked up with this. So I thought, I'll go and listen to them online, see what they've got to say. And they were like a small group of young lads, really. I was the oldest one there, really. There's about 20 or 30 of them there. And they were all watching the same charts live, and they started trading, and I got into it from there, really, initially.
Well, that's interesting. You mentioned that, and one of the points that I did want to bring up was, it's not a young man's game. It's not an old man's game. It's we have it it's almost like a community now, built together of a group of traders all there to just help each other. And it doesn't matter how old or young you are, it doesn't matter whether you're black, whether you're white, male, female, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter what backgrounds are as well. What I'm finding really interesting is the vast variety of people's backgrounds. I mean, we had a guy called Sean who started doing it last year, and he was a plumber, and obviously with the pandemic going on, needed some way of supplementing his income. And he just chatted to some of his mates, who then chatted to their mates, who then chatted to their mates, just like everyone did or used to do, sat down the pub, and before you know it, there's a whole bunch of people which are all like plumbers. And he started his own Facebook group for traders of plumbers or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And then on the flip side, you've got myself, who comes from a background of doing window blinds. He used to do that as a business. We had Kevin, who used to be a policeman. We've had Brian on, who used to have a trucking company. Paul, he used to do, he had blinds in that as well. So there's all sorts of different backgrounds that people come from.
We have mothers. We have mothers looking after their children before they can go to school.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot of those. I guess the biggest thing to say on that really is like you say, it's open to any background, but if you've got a big enough why and you've got a big enough passion to want to do it, then you'll do it.
Yeah, exactly. And I found that in the last year that I've probably been doing it, is that you can learn lots, but you can and you can find lots of information out there on the internet. It's not that difficult to find, but it's a little bit like trying to learn to drive off a video, right? You wouldn't do it. And it's almost a little bit like, I remember when I was trying to learn the guitar, and I was trying to learn from a book, right? It can tell you where to place your fingers and where to actually do this part of it and the notes that are involved, and start learning about that. But how do you know it sounds all right unless you've got an instructor, unless you've got other people that play the guitar telling you if you're doing it right or you're doing it wrong? And that's what the sort of thing I think about doing this trading now in the group that we've got.
Well, that all comes under the umbrella of experience, and nobody can teach you experience. That is the benefit of being in a big group like you're alluding to.
Yeah.
Because you're gaining the experience of others that have been there, like me, and other colleagues have been in there for 3 or 4 years or even longer, looking at the charts, and we all chip in with our own different opinions. And because we've been there longer, you get to sort of chip in on our experience and get to see the charts the way we see the charts. So therefore it brings your experience on tenfold in shorter space of the time.
Yeah, I like to use the phrase standing on the shoulders of giants. That's a good one. Now, you actually are one, I would say, will class you as an educator, because within this group, various people go live at various times during the week, so we can handle people that are all over the world in different time zones and that. But you actually have a show yourself every Saturday morning, UK time, around 10 o'clock. What is the strategy that you use yourself?
The strategy, well, we have various different time zones that we trade off. And now you trade off the shorter time zones, like the 15-minute, the 30-minute, the 5-minute, etc. You're what's known as a scalper. I don't do that. I trade off the longer time frames, the 4-hourly and the hourly. And I do that because it suits my lifestyle. Yeah. And we've got lots of different strategies that we use and that we teach people. And therefore, people watching us and learning from us will pick up these strategies as a team to their own particular lifestyle. And so we've got something for everybody. So if you're the kind of person who likes to sit near a computer for a couple of hours, say, every day, and watch the charts, watch price, what it's doing on the charts, you might want to be a scalper. So you get a short amount of pips. There's that word again, pips. You get a short amount of pips, and you can see the price heading your direction. You hit buy or sell, as the case may be, and you get out. Me, what I do is I trade off the longer time frame, and I wait for the price to get where I wanted to go, so I can walk away from the computer in the safe knowledge, if I've done my analysis properly, that the price will indeed go to where an already set, what we call a trap, or what I call a trap, for the price to get to that trap, and then initiate me in the sell or the buy. I can walk away from the screen completely and come back the next day or check in at a later time and see how the trade's doing. And that's the way I like to trade.
Yeah, no, I get it. And to be fair, that's kind of like how I've developed as well myself. I much prefer doing that. And what's interesting is that at the moment, there's such a buzz and so many people online, so many unlikely people on my own Facebook and that's popping out and using the word Bitcoin. And they're up in arms one day and because the price has gone down, and then they're all celebrating the next day because the price has gone up. And I think to myself, well, these guys are like, all they're doing is buying a currency, or buying, sorry, not currency, is it buying a Bitcoin, that's, for example, or a portion of a Bitcoin, and then just sitting back and waiting and seeing what happens. And that's a little bit like, for me, kicking a football into the ocean and seeing whether or not it will come back to me. And it's like, some days it will go out and some days it will come back in. And I can't deal with that. I would rather have much more control over what I'm doing, but also have these rules and strategies and everything else in place that is going to make life a lot easier. Now, you yourself actually are helping people get started by offering ideas, we'll call them ideas, on a weekly basis, probably about, I think last count, average, what, 3-4 times a week now, is it?
Sorry, what?
With your trade ideas.
Sorry, with the trades I produce, yeah, on average 3 or 4 trades, because the strategy that I use works on all time frames, but as I alluded to earlier, I like using the bigger time frames because I can, not being lazy, but I can go and take my time to set the traps up, as it were. If you do them on the smaller time frame, you've got to work a lot quicker and be to get your computer at a certain time to put these traps out. But because I'm on the hourly and the 4 hourly, consequently, things take a little bit more time to get where I need them to be. So I can take my time and do these things, but it's still just as effective. And I give people what we call the trades, tell people the trades to go for about 3 or 4 times a week on average. Sometimes it's a bit more, sometimes it's a bit less.
The thing that I like about that is, like I said to you, you are not only just giving like, oh, this is the pair, this is the currency pair. Let's take the euro versus the Australian dollar, for example. This is the price that you want to enter your trade in. We want it to go up or we want it to go down. Set a stop loss so you don't go overboard at this point, and set a profit at this point. And that kind of suits me really nicely. And what's crazy is that people can actually get access to this without risking their own money. They don't have to take the trade, but they can also use what we call a demo account, which is like using Monopoly money, basically, just to see how it goes. And David's really kind because he actually set up a Discord channel, which is like a bulletin board, right? You can download the app on your phone and you'll get an alert each time David puts a trade in there, or trade idea. I have to call it trade idea, right? And just to be on the safe side, right? We are not financial advisors. We're not telling you what to do.
We're not going to put somebody's head and say, you must put your money down on this. It's an idea. If you don't feel comfortable with it, you don't do it.
It's just an idea. That's it. And the cool thing about it is, like I said, you have this thing and you allow people to come in for 30 days, try it out. Don't use their own money, just use it on demo. Get access to David's sessions where he shows you a little bit more. You can start learning a little bit more as well. And then you can decide whether or not you're interested. And I think that is the really cool thing about it. It's almost like a try before you buy. But then once you start getting, I'm not going to say hooked, I'm going to say more interested. Then we can open up a whole world of stuff for you where you can get access to other educators like David. Like, I think I counted like 26, 27 sessions a week. And we have a platform which we trade from. There are indicators which have been programmed specifically for us, not available to anybody else. It is kind of like I'd probably say it's probably the easiest thing I've ever done.
Not only that, Paul, I mean, as you're aware, you can actually go and ask questions of these people, answers just like that, you know?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And what's, even though I've been talking to my own dad about it for about a year, he actually signed up yesterday and got in, and now he started looking at it. Now he started talking to his friends about it, and now he's deciding what sessions he's going to get on so he can start learning a little bit about it. I was obviously able to be there and talk him through it, but sometimes it's nice to have a third party there where you can just ask the questions. And it doesn't matter how computer literate you are either, because I've been on some beginner sessions where people are literally almost to the point where they can only just use a mouse, but they're still getting it. They're still asking the right questions. They're still learning, they're still improving, and everything else like that.
I mean, we always say that trading, 90% of it is what happens in your own mind.
Yeah.
10% of it is just the technical stuff, like learning how to put a stop loss on, and that's simple in comparison to controlling your own mind, how you're going to trade.
Totally.
The experience part. And
yeah, absolutely. It is, like I said, it's the real basic stuff. And like I said, having this group and this community that we've got now is super cool. So I'm going to wrap it up, but I'm going to let everybody know that they can get a free guide to start with, which will then lead into getting into David's free trial, if you like, where you can come and check it out. You can log on to his sessions every Saturday. You can get his signals come through Discord, and you can like learn how to put the trades on. And also then, like I said, on a demo account, just while you're learning, because we don't want anybody going silly or crazy on it. So you can just see how it works. And that's the best thing. And I'm going to put a link into the show notes. And if you're watching on YouTube, it's going to be in the description of the video. So you can get that free guide, which will then push you towards David's group, and you can get access to all his good stuff. But David, it's been awesome having you on, man. And I'm just, from myself as well, I need to thank you for introducing me to this, and we'll catch you all again soon.
You're welcome. Thanks very much, everybody.